So, sir, we're going to be doing our business SDAs. Yo, let me just open all my things and open my stuff yet. Oh, so you were just at home today, sir?
Yes, I was.
Okay. So besides studying, you're not working and things like that. Just chilling.
No, yeah, I'm just chilling.
Lekker. Is there anything that you like specifically do with your free time, like research things, or do you like?
Um, I do whatever. It's not like a specific thing I do every day. Like I just do what I feel like doing, and sometimes, yeah, that can involve researching things. I
Yeah,
read
I'm
sometimes.
thinking. I'm
Yeah.
thinking. Are you ever gonna get to like, or are you on a vibe where you like, want to create something, want to like take what you have as
Yeah.
whatever and then create something? Are you like on that wave?
Yeah.
And then
Sometimes, like last year. Yeah. Sorry.
I'm listening. Sorry, I interrupted you there.
Oh, last year like I was into like clothing design, so I was
Okay.
busy. Like I had like a few ideas, so I was designing those. Yeah, I never really went through with it because like I just got busy with exams and stuff, so I put it on hold. But it's still something I'm interested in.
Okay. Okay. So
Yeah,
designing. Clothes specifically,
yeah.
or is it like a different variation
Yeah.
of fashion design?
Yeah, it's a different variation of fashion design, but like at the time I was doing only like let's say like graphic t-shirts and stuff like that. So like just like graphics on a t-shirt and like hoodies and stuff.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Nah, lekker. That's cool, bro. Like I said, like it's about creating something at the end of the day, a
Yeah.
product or some service that you can give to your community. If it's a global community, if it's a local community, that's sort of like the goal. Like I don't know
Yeah.
if you've been to Thailand, or if you
No, I haven't.
do you know about them?
Yeah, I know of Thailand. Yeah, I haven't been there though.
Thailand is very work orientated, but it's about like everyone staying motivated and creating something and having a sense of belonging, because that is what it's about at the end of the day. If you can create something, then there's that sense of you belong. But as soon as you get dislodged from
Yeah.
your community and things like that, then it gets difficult to form relationships and stuff like that. So sorry, I'm talking a
I
lot
understand.
of stuff, but what I'm saying is
No, I get
it's
you.
important to get to the point where you can offer something to the community. Yeah. So that's why I'm asking, like, is there
Yeah.
anything that you're busy with or creating? Because everyone has their skills and interests and things,
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering. So fashion it is, but yeah, it also changes. So you must let me know if it changes or whatever. Yeah. But anyway,
Yeah. So,
let's get to the business, sir. Okay, so
okay.
what I did tell you yesterday, I'm just gonna run through. This is business studies. We have two papers. It's broken up into four main topics: business environments, business operations, business ventures, and business roles. I remember it like that. You can remember it like that as well, or you can remember it in another way. I'm all up for democracy. Okay, so they also use the term Evro. Okay, that's environments, ventures, roles, and operations. So you'll see that maybe in other study guides and things like that. So just be aware of that. Okay, then I said business environments. Those are the three things that we're going to look at. We're going to zoom into that today. And then just looking at the other parts, it's business operations with HR and quality there. Then we have business ventures, which is all those goodies. And then business roles, which is all those topics there. Okay, and
Okay.
I think you have this as notes in front of you, so you can see it
Oh yes,
clearly.
I do.
Okay,
Hmm.
so that's good, sir. So now we're going into the legislation of this thing that we call business. So, what rules if you were a manager of a business, right? And maybe let's say for example, you have a fashion store, right?
Yeah.
Now you sell clothes from there, and you have people that work for you, right? You
Hmm.
buy clothes, you sell clothes, and you use PCs and things to keep track of your information. Then you also have your people that do make decisions, and then also people that do what they need to what needs to be done. So you have certain roles in the business, and then you also have the marketing, which is getting your product out there. Okay, so all of those things is what makes a
Yeah.
business, right? um, do you agree, sir? Is there anything else that you think?
I,
It's
yeah,
about
I agree with you.
okay, so yeah, those that is what makes up a business. So you have this fashion business now, you have all those things that you need to consider. And while doing all those things, you have certain rules that you need to consider. Rules or legislation. So when we just making sure that you can. Oh, I didn't share my screen yet. Okay, sorry, buddy. Sorry. Just get my vaccine over here. Okay. Um. So you can see my hand, right?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So you have the business. Okay. Then you have the rules, which we call the legislation. Okay. Now, the first legislation that we're going to look at is the skills. Okay, the skills, and what is your responsibility as a business towards the skills of the, I suppose, who are the people that is your employees, right?
Okay.
Okay, so that's the first rule that we're going to consider. Um, the one that impacts the skills of the employees. Okay, and how the bosses or the managers have to consider things to make sure that this thing gets implemented. Okay, in terms of people get upskilled, and in that case they get a better well-being because they have access to better jobs, etc., etc. Okay, how are we going to implement this skills development into the business? So the first one that we're looking at is Skills Development Act, the Skills Development Act. Okay, so just get it into it that as a manager, you have a responsibility to develop the skills of the employees in the business.
Okay.
Okay. So there's a general outline that we use when we when we do the legislation. Some legislation has variation from this general structure, but all of the legislation follow the following um, format. Okay, you first start with the purpose. So sorry, you can make a heading here. It's just act format or something like that. Act, yeah, act format. Okay, so the first thing that we're gonna look at is always the purpose of the act. Why? Why? What does the act do? What does the act do? Okay, so there are certain things that the rules that we implement it does. Okay, for example, just simply put, the purpose of the Skills Development Act is to develop the skills of the employees of the business. Bottom line. But we're going to look at more specific reasoning and more specific things that you need to consider because we are doing a grade 12. So it is more specific, but I'm just trying to get the basic understanding down. And as we go through the other legislations, I think it's going to just move faster. So if it is taking a lot of time, and I am taking a lot of time on one point, just understand that I'm trying to be as clear as possible from the beginning so that there's no gaps. Okay, so purpose. Okay, what does the act do? Then we have the impact of the act. Okay, which will always be they'll always ask you advantages or disadvantages. I always tell my students that if I come into your environment and I am a new influence, I can either influence you positively or I can influence you negatively. And that determines the impact that I have on you.
Okay.
So you can, when they ask you about impact, you must be sure to just identify that it is either the advantages or the disadvantages. That might ask you for pros and cons, can also be the thing. Um, there's also another positives and negatives. That's the basic ones. Positives and negatives. Okay. Are we good, sir?
Yes, we are.
Okay. So that's the impact, sir. So how does this rule that you are implementing in the business impact on the business? How does it impact on the employees? Positive, negative. How does it impact on the employer? Okay. These guys are also they also need to consider this rules that you're considering and that you're implementing, because if they don't implement it properly, then there can also be consequences that come their way. Okay. So that's also something that you need to consider there. So the third thing that you need to consider is your compliance. Okay, which is basically your following the rules. How do you follow the rules? Okay, following the rules. How do you follow the rules? If you're sitting in class, for example, and you are told that you need to um, keep quiet and do your work, then the first person that talks is the person that is not complying. So when that happens and there's a non-compliance, there's normally a sanction or a penalty that goes with that.
Okay.
Okay, so compliance goes hand in hand with penalties for sorry for non-compliance. Okay, penalties for non-compliance. Are we good, sir?
Yes, I understand.
Okay, then there's a thing called we can always if we um, okay, so there's discrimination. Okay, as a manager, this is sort of like your biggest fear.
Mm.
Okay, because you don't want to make someone feel less than someone else. You don't want to make someone else feel inequality, and nothing like that. So discrimination is very key, something that you need to consider. So you need to be considerate as a manager towards these things. Okay. So when it comes to discrimination, how can we discriminate against someone in terms of skills development? Okay. I'm going to say that again. How can we, in the business, if we're applying this rule about, yeah, everyone must get skills, everyone must have access to skills, how can we discriminate against someone that is um, getting an opportunity or something? Okay. So the simple thing is if you, for example, deny someone of color to go for training, then that is an act of discrimination in terms of skills development act.
Okay.
Are we good, sir? So just get
Yes.
the idea of discrimination is like in the business. It's it's something that you need to consider in terms of the people's inequality. So if as soon as someone feels unequal to someone else, and you caused it based on skills, then you have acted in discrimination. So it's very sensitive topic because in some cases people are right to feel the way that they feel. In some case, people are oversensitive. In some cases, like people are oblivious to emotions and certain things that are felt.
Hmm.
So it's just like that is a constant consideration that you need to take as a manager.
Okay.
Okay. So, in terms of the spine of every act, that is what you need to know. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So, just run through it again: the purpose, the impact, compliance, the penalties of non compliance. If you don't follow the rules, what happens? And then, how can you discriminate against people when implementing? So this discrimination, I just want you to add in here because the word that we saying the whole time is it's in the implementation of the rule. When you implement the rule, you can't discriminate. So it's when you implement the rule, that is when you need to be considerate here. Okay. Are we good, sir? Mr. M?
Yes. Yes.
It's actually Friday today. The feeling is like Friday, although it is Thursday on the calendar. So
Yeah, it
I
feels like
like to,
Friday.
yeah, like I always tell the kids, it's always the way that the day feels. That is the day that it
Mm.
is. So that's just the
That's
way that I
real.
live my life, my some philosophy that I bestow upon the kids, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah, today for me is like Friday. So yeah, I'm feeling good, man. Friday's a good day for me.
Okay.
So um, we're talking about SDA, sir. SDA, that is the Skills Development Act. Okay. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna share with you the first part of the notes, and then also I will be sharing this with you in an email so that you can start looking over it, because this is sort of like the basics of everything that you need to know. So can you see this on your screen, sir?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So uh, they are talking about a lot of acts here. It's basically what I've just explained to you. Each act has a spine of things. Like I said, there are variations. For example, they talk about the rights of LRA. Yeah. Okay, so that's a variation. In only in NCA and CPA you get rights, but in the other ones you don't get rights. Okay, and then this one, this third bullet, just highlight it for
Hmm.
you. That one, that's part of the one that we're doing now. So I want you to understand that bullet is only specific to Skills Development Act. Are we good, sir?
Okay.
So that
Yes.
piece of information is only in SDA. It's not in the other acts. Okay, like the CETAs also as part of that. This is a general one in each act. So each act has an
Okay.
impact. Each act has an impact. And then there's a specific one again to triple BE. We're going to learn about that all. Here we spoke about the consequences of non-compliance. So what happens if you don't comply? And here at the bottom, they talk about ways that you can comply. Okay, so we're going to go through all these notes now. Okay.
Okay.
Uh, and acts of discriminatory stuff, various acts. So that is the one that I spoke about, though, was discrimination and things like that. Okay, so I basically explained that now, but in a very basic way, on the side here, on my book. Okay, so the basics are purpose,
Okay.
impact, compliance, non-compliance, and discrimination. If you can know that by the end of this lesson and know that there are certain variations, you don't need to know all the variations, then I think you have excelled in a level for today. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So, is it all clear, sir?
So far, yes.
The screen. Do you see the purpose there, sir?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna just write down the keywords under purpose. Okay. So when I say you must write down, for example, the keyword there, and sometimes you're going to have to maybe juggle a couple of words, string a couple of other words together to get a more refined, summarized version of the keyword. Okay. But you'll see what we're doing as we go. But we're trying to summarize this now. So I'm going to teach you how to summarize. And as we're going through the acts, because this is the way that you study, sir. There's no other way to go to get better at this. Um, you need to go through the information, see if you understand the information, and if a question comes your way about the information, you need to have the information at hand first of all, and then you need to also understand the context of the question and use the information that you have to answer the question. So there's a couple of things that's happening at the end of the year when you have that exam in front of you and you need to answer those questions. It's not just about, oh, I'm going to have this tutor and all of a sudden I'm going to pass with 80%. No, it's not going to happen. You need to have it's like a way of studying. And I think the way that I study and the way that you study won't be the same, might be similar, might be way different. Um, so then we can talk about different ways of studying if my methods don't work. But it's about studying ways of retaining information in your head, those types of things. Very important. I'm saying those things now so that you understand that when I go through it, the reason why I'm going through it.
Yeah.
Are we good?
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
So, yes. So now you see there's something that should be familiar to you. Do you see the word purpose?
Yeah. Yes, I do.
Okay. So that's something that we spoke about, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What is the purpose of any act in a business?
To enforce a specific rule, I guess.
Okay. Okay. It basically tells us the doing part of the act.
Okay.
The purpose is the doing part of the act. Um, so what you're saying is what it enforces or whatever. Okay, so what does this skills development act enforce in the business? Okay, first one is develops the skills of people in South Africa in order to. So I just want us to look at the improved productivity there because that's the first one. So the purpose. Okay, so now I'm going to start summarizing on the side. Okay, and I'm going to write the keywords under the heading so that I just have less words to remember when I am memorizing. Okay, so we
Yeah.
first summarizing and then we'll memorize. Okay, so to improve, you don't even have to write uh, to improve. You literally just have to write the word productivity.
Okay.
Okay, because that's the word that um, sort of sparks the ideas. Okay, um, you can also use little symbols. So what I normally do is when something is increasing or decreasing or improving or becoming less deteriorating, then I normally just use an arrow. Okay, so I know then that arrow means improve productivity. Okay, so you can use those symbols like that. You can use words, um, but that's sort of the thing. You're trying to make that whole sentence into a symbol so that the symbol triggers thoughts in your head.
Yeah.
Okay. So second one is invest in education and training. Okay. So we're gonna talk about the investment there. We're gonna invest. Okay. E and T, education and training. Okay. Our third one, third bullet. Are you with, sir?
Yes.
Okay. The chances of getting a job for previously disadvantaged people. It improves that. Okay. It improves the chances for jobs. So jobs is important there. And what you wanna use the percentage sign because that's probability, right? Like the chances of people getting jobs is much easier. Previously disadvantaged people. Okay. Our fourth bullet, sir, encourages workers to participate in learning programs. So the participation there is important. It inspires participation. Okay. And then the last one is redresses imbalances of the past through education and training. So that is again um, talking about the apartheid scheme, you know, and how people were disadvantaged, and now they're trying to rectify that by giving more people of color um, uh, opportunities for education and training. Okay, so that's what they mean by redresses imbalances of the past. Okay, so you can actually just write down apartheid there if you want. Fixing old regime or something like that. You know, something that you can recall. I just normally think apartheid because it's relevant and I
Yeah.
understand it. Do you understand what your goal is with the summarizing thing, sir?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Do you see how many words you have on your screen, and you see how many words you have in your book?
Yeah.
So the stuff in your book is what you're gonna remember. Okay. And you're gonna remember these things only to trigger the thoughts of the actual facts. Okay. So you can't write these things. You can't write these things down because people won't understand what you're saying. But you using these things to help you remember the actual facts. Okay. So just running through it again. You always look at the heading. You say, okay, we're talking about the Skills Development Act, thinking about the purpose of it. Okay, so this is memorizing now, sir. So before you go on to impact, I would like you to
Yeah.
memorize. I would like you to memorize the stuff first. So assimilate it. Okay, you assimilate the information so that it just runs through. It's like the smoothness of it. You're trying to see if you like you're oiling the information in your head. Okay, just to see if it's
Yeah.
flowing. So the Skills Development Act,
Okay.
what is the purpose of it? Our purpose is to develop skills and to improve the productivity of the workforce or the people in the business or da 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 or da da. So the main thing is you need to improve and develop the skills of the people in the business. Why? Because you want to improve productivity. So all the ideas will always come back to improving productivity. Why are you developing skills, sir?
Okay.
Because why? You want to improve productivity. Are we good?
Yes.
Okay. So second one is you want to invest in education and training programs. Okay. So this Skills Development Act, the purpose of it is to enforce or encourage investment in education and training programs. Okay. So you can always come up with a story around these words. Jobs probability, the probability, it so the Skills Development Act, let's go back to the heading. The purpose of it is to improve the probability of people getting jobs that were previously disadvantaged. Okay.
Okay. I understand. Yeah.
So the probability of the people getting jobs of previously disadvantaged people. Okay. This thing was about, it was about the participation. It encourages people to get to participate in education programs. And like people sometimes don't smack to go to, like, on a Saturday, go to like a workshop, like sit there like for 5 hours, and so the Skills Development Act.
Hello. Sorry, sir. It's a bit laggy, the call. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes. Are we good, sir? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Are we back?
Yes. Yeah. Sorry about that. I can hear you now.
Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. So participation, are we good, sir?
Yes.
Okay, then what the last one was that we talking about redressing the imbalances of the past um, by offering new opportunities. What is it again? Let me quickly go read. It's the redresses imbalances of the past through education and training. Okay. So that's like I always go back. If I can't remember the stuff, then I always go back to the notes just to refresh my mind. Okay. But you challenge yourself not to look at the notes and try and remember the information from these little words. because that's how you exercise your brain to know the information and to remember it. If you're looking at the stuff in front of you the whole time, your brain's almost like getting lazy because it always wants to see the stuff to remind itself. But if you push yourself to um, remember the stuff from these little facts or little symbols or whatever, then it helps you to become sharper, and that skill develops. I know I'm talking about skills development, but what I'm actually saying, what I'm actually saying in terms of what we're doing, the skill that we're trying to memorize and summarize, we're developing that skill as well by looking at this and then trying to remember it. What I'm saying is, if you can't remember it, it's good to go
Okay.
back and check. Okay.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
force yourself not to check, because I'm also sometimes I'm lazy, and it's 12 o'clock at night, and I'm studying maybe for something, and I need to um, focus. Then it's difficult to focus sometimes, and then you just want to read the stuff. You don't want to memorize the stuff anymore. So your brain does get tired of memorizing. Okay, sorry. Sorry if I blabber a lot, bro. I'm sorry if I'm like talking a lot and maybe the information is
Oh,
going slow.
no, 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 no. I understand what you're saying. You're not blabbering on.
Okay, cool. Thanks for that, man. Okay, so impact is how this thing and how this thing impacts the business positively, how it changes the business negatively. So we'll look at those now, and then we'll check. So a common one is always that it's going to improve productivity. So we should actually think of like a symbol for that, like a little like a hand or something that means improve productivity. Trains employees to improve productivity. Okay, then promote self-employment. Okay, so what they say there is that they want people to become entrepreneurs. Uh, Pause. Okay, sorry, that's the first word that came to my mind when I thought self-employment. Pause. Okay,
Yeah.
so increases the return on investment in education and training. Okay, so ROI, return on investment, and it increases, which means that is an upwards arrow, and it is in where? In ENT. Okay, so it increases the return on investment in education and training. So we used ENT before, so that should be something familiar. Education and training.
Yeah.
Education and training. Okay. So, fourth bullet is business could become globally more competitive. I think we can just use a little circle there. It looks like the earth. And then you can even, I don't know how you're going to draw that. I would like to draw that. Or just write down the word more competitive. Depends on you. Globally more competitive. You can link them together. Okay, but this is what we're trying to do. Then increases the number of skilled employees in areas where these skills are scarce. Okay, so it's quite that's fine. Number of skilled employees. Okay, so just basically number of skilled employees. That's one we're gonna have to remember in words, because I don't know how to draw that unless you can think of something on the spot. You can draw it there, or you can write down one word for all those words. Then you have the negatives there. Remember I said that impact is positives and the negatives. Okay, it's positives and negatives. So what are the negatives? How is this thing affecting us negatively? Costs. Implementation of the integer is difficult to monitor. So the monitoring of it is difficult. Okay. Skills programs may not always address training needs of employees. Okay. So the relevance of the training programs, the relevance of the training programs, okay, must be towards the needs of the employees. Okay, so it's about the relevance of the training programs. Okay, then can you see what I'm doing?
Yes.
I'm taking a word that I think summarizes that whole sentence and I'm putting it there so that I can think of that word and then recall the information. Okay. So we always need to think of how relevant these training programs are towards the employees' needs. So maybe we should just write down here employees' needs because that's important. I don't know. Small words to remember, but I think that's a crux. That's an important thing there. That needs to be relevant to the employees' needs. Okay. Does that make sense, Mr. M?
Yeah, it does.
If it's not relevant to the employees' needs, do you see how we're going to waste money? Because if I train you to be administration Excel, but I send you to, I want you to be better at Excel, right? As a manager. But now I send you to poetry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm
Would be a
wasting
waste of
money,
money.
waste of money, time, effort, everything. So the stuff must be relevant to the needs of the employees. Very important, sir. Okay, then we're paying a levy, sir. Okay, and that it just influences our finances negatively. Okay, extra burden to financially struggling businesses, so much words, and all you need to understand is that this thing, this levy that you need to pay, it that makes the finances more difficult to manage. It creates a financial burden, extra burden. Okay, so all you need to understand there is that the finance becomes more difficult to manage. Okay, why? Because you're paying a levy, you're paying an extra expense. The last bullet, number 5, it may be monitored and controlled by government departments that do not have education and training. Okay, what as key priorities? So it may be monitored by the do not have education as key. So what does that mean? Like I'm just gonna say mismanagement. Okay, because that it says to me that people in government, I can even say the GOV government is mismanagement. Why? Because they don't have education and training as key priorities. Okay, they don't prioritize education and training. They prioritize corruption because you know what's
Yeah.
happening. You know what's happening, sir.
Yes, I did.
Okay, so discrimination. Okay, discrimination. Preventing employees from signing for a learnership due to their age. Okay, so do you see? Okay, let's just talk about a learnership quickly. A learnership is a where you can get paid and study.
Okay.
Okay, that thing. You know that thing. You get like
I guess I do.
experience. You get experience, and you get like a stipend. Stipend is like a pay. Okay, so that's a learnership. So what they're saying is that if you prevent someone from signing for that because of their age or their position in the workplace, then that is discrimination, sir. Okay, so preventing, so that's for learnership. So our first under discrimination is that we prevent opportunity. Prevent opportunity. Okay. You can just add in your sir age, just to assist the brain. Age, and position. You don't have to write position. You can just say have one example there due to their age. That's fine. You don't have to remember position in the workplace unless you insist on that. If you're that type of learner that insists on knowing everything, then you go in terms of everything. Okay. But I don't want to clatter you. And also later when we're doing revision, we can refine the information. But for now, just have an important there that it's about the age. We are preventing opportunity for people at a certain age to sign for a learnership. Okay. And then number second is unfair promotion of skills development to certain employees. Okay. So we're talking about unfairness to certain employees. Only certain people get preference. So you can write the word preference there. So certain employees. Preference, certain favorites. What do you call it? Witbroodjies. What is it? Teachers' pets.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you get those people, and then they somehow get the promotion because they are favored. Like that. That's discrimination, sir. Are we good? Is there a good understanding, sir? Is my explanation clear?
Yeah. There's a good understanding of it.
Okay.
I understand what you're saying.
Okay, good, sir. Okay, providing employment services for gain without being registered as an employee. Okay, providing employment services for gain without being registered for as an employer. So that's basically just like corruption. I just want to say in terms of fraudulent training. Fraudulent training. Okay, like if you offer like stuff, but you are not a registered person to give employment services. Okay. So it's basically fraudulent. Okay, there's the corruption there. Then furnishing false information in any prescribed document. Okay, that is also a form of corruption. So false information, false info. Okay, so I think those last two can go together. Providing employment services for gain without being registered as an employer. And then we have furnishing false information. So false information and also providing services for gain. It's both like unethical practices. Unethical practices. Okay. Penalties for non-compliance. Okay, wait. First, we need to know how to comply to the thing. Then we need to know what happens if we don't. Okay, so compliance. So, question, sir, what act are we talking about?
The Skills Development Act.
Okay, good, sir. Okay,
Yeah.
so ways in which businesses can comply with the SDA is you need to collect pay. Okay, so you just can just write down pay as you earn. Pay as you earn. That's income tax, basically. Pay as you earn. Okay, 1% of an employer's payroll has to be paid over to SATAs. Okay, so 1% goes to SATAs. Okay, sorry, sir. It's very noob of me. SATA stands for sector. Okay, so there's different sectors, like agricultural sector, education sector, finance sector, um, different sectors in the business world. Okay, that need education and training. Okay.
Okay.
And you just have to know that they are an authority. Okay, so Sector Education and Training Authority, that is what SETA stands for. So in each sector, you have these guys that are upskilling people in different things. Like you have the technological guys, information technology, you have guys training in, for example, teaching, upskilling how to be a better public speaker, and then you have, like, for example, agriculture, how to farm, how to be better at cultivating crops. So each sector has training and facilities. Okay.
Okay.
So that is what this refers to. So when they talk here about 1% of the employer's payroll must be paid into SATAs, then that's what they're talking to. They're talking about the employer as the boss or the company paying 1% to the SATAs, to the people that's doing the education and training.
Okay.
Okay. So business should register with SARS. Okay. So we know that SARS is who?
South African Revenue Services.
Okay. Which is who? Taxman.
Yeah.
Taxman. Okay. So they are registered with SARS, seeing that money moves, tax is there, SARS is there. Okay. As soon as money moves, there's tax. Just think of it like whenever money moves from a bank to a bank or wherever, there's tax. So that is how tax works. Employers should submit a workplace skills plan. Okay, a workplace skills plan. Workplace skills plan. Workplace skills plan. WSP. Is that fine? WSP?
Yes, there's.
WSP. You must just remember what it stands for. Workplace skills plan. Okay.
Okay.
That is not a general term. That is a term between me and my students, me and you. So if you talk about WSP anywhere else, you're not going to make sense.
Okay.
Okay. So workplace skills plan is just a tool that we are using to remember that information. Last bullet: businesses with more than 50 employees must appoint a facilitator, skills development facilitator, SD facilitator. Are we good, sir?
Sorry, so can you explain that last point again?
Oh, if you have a business with over 50 employees, you must have a person that does the skills development, the facilitation of that. So they find the venue, they set up
Okay.
workshops and stuff like that.
Okay.
Okay, so almost done, sir. Couple of things still to do, but we can run through it. Okay, and then we can call it. Maybe about another 10 minutes of your time. Is it fine?
Yes, that's fine.
Functions of SATA. Okay, so what is the function of a SATA? First thing is you must report to DG, which is the Director General. Report to DG. Okay, I normally encourage my kids to not memorize all these things at once. Maybe just take one or two of these things. Okay. So
Okay.
for now, I'm just gonna talk through it because we've talked about most of these things already. Okay. Report to the Director General, promote learnerships. I spoke to you about learnerships. Levies, grants. Fourth bullet is provide accreditation. Accreditation, just write down there, is like certificates and stuff.
Okay.
Accreditation. It's like certificate for like doing first aid or doing 120-hour course in TEFL or something like that. This needs to be accreditation. Okay. Also, if you are a facilitator and you're doing things maybe on a Saturday, then you would need to get some sort of accreditation for that as well, whether it be in a form of acknowledgement or a form of money. That is what the function of SATAs are, to make sure that the people
Okay.
that's doing the work gets some sort of accreditation. So what I'm saying there, also get accreditation in form of monies. Okay. Then register learnerships agreements. Okay, so you must register the stuff. And then you must talk about the WSPs. So you must approve those. Okay. And have annual training reports. Okay. So this is basically all the stuff that it does in business language. Okay, annual training reports, learnership agreements, accreditation. So these are good words to use in your essay and stuff like that. So have it in your vocabulary because it's good to
Okay.
have. Okay. Then for funding, um, certain things that need to be paid, like levies by the employees, 80% is distributed to the SATA and 20% is paid into the National Skills Fund. So that is a national fund for skills. Okay. So the levy that gets paid, the 1%, 80% of it goes to the SATA and 20% of it goes to the National Skills Fund. Okay. So this is in the sector. The SATA is in the sector and national is like the whole country.
Okay.
Okay. And donations and grants for the public. Surplus funds from government institutions and funds received from rendering. That's all where the money comes from. So you can just say that funding is like the money and stuff, and that is where all the money comes from for SATAs. Are we good, sir?
Yes, we are.
Okay, now our last section here is I would normally encourage my kids just to know about three differences. Okay. Or three facts about each of these things. For example, the national skills development, okay, has to do with good quality training in the workplace. Okay, human resource development strategy has to do with skills shortages in South Africa. So this is upskilling people, okay, and this is making sure that people stay skilled. Okay, this is helping people to get jobs and things. HR, DS, human resource development, and national NSDS is helping people to participate in government, organized businesses, and labor. Okay, so this is always ensuring that people are participating at the highest level. Okay, optimizing the skills pool in the country. Okay, national skills development strategy. Human resource development strategy is all about making sure that people don't get to a point where they're unemployed, or making sure that people that have um, jobs that on level 1 be able to go to level 2 by making sure that they upskill themselves. So that's HRDS. Okay, so one of these development
Okay.
strategies is for maintaining the skills. You can write that down there somewhere. With NSDS, it's about maintaining the skills up there. Okay, ongoing skills development, maintaining skills level. Okay, and what else can we say? Making sure that there's participation, consistent participation. Okay, and then on the HRDS, it's all about like making sure that there's no skill shortages. So it's all about um, upskilling.
Okay.
Okay, upskilling and economic growth. Okay, and if people are upskilled, how does it affect the economic growth? Well, you can have self-employment, like when we said bouse.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's how it helps with the employment levels, economic growth, and the levels of poverty, entrepreneurship. Okay, so the one is about upskilling people, and this one is about maintaining. Okay. So, sir, that is the Skills Development Act. The next one is the Labor Relations Act. Labor relations. So before we go there to labor relations, this is what you have as skills development. Okay, that last part
Yeah.
we did run through it. So you probably gonna have to read through it again, just to catch on to a couple of other things. Okay, but I think we have a general understanding of the Skills Development Act. So just memorizing quickly. Let's run through it for for the last 4 minutes. Okay.
Okay.
This you studied today a lot, sir. Okay, because we remember we still did the act format as well today, so we did a lot today. Okay.
Yeah.
So purpose, impact, compliance, non-compliance, and discrimination. Are you with?
Yes.
Okay. Then we spoke about the Skills Development Act. The purpose of that is to improve productivity. For example, probability of jobs, and make sure that there's participation in the workplace, in education and training facilities. Are we good? We go to the impact. You don't have to remember everything, sir. We must just be able to talk about it. Remember, if you know about
Okay.
2 facts under each heading by the end of a lesson, that's good. Because the aim is not to know everything. The aim is to know a little about everything. Okay? When we go to the exam, then I'm going to be very strict on specifics and knowing more than you're supposed to. But for now,
Okay.
you must just know, for example, what is the Skills Development Act? It's about improving productivity and investing in education and training programs. The impact is now we're working here. The impact is that you want to, let's talk about BAUS. BAUS was when we said about what?
Self-employment and Black entrepreneurship.
Yes, meneer, Mr. Peterse. And then we also spoke about increasing the return on investment in terms of education and training programs. Okay. We also spoke about being globally more competitive. So that's the positives. The negatives were that there are costs involved.
Yeah.
We need to monitor it because it's difficult. It's difficult to monitor. So that causes a problem. It needs to be relevant to the employee's needs. And we had a nice discussion on that as well. Okay. So that's good. Are we good there, sir?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then we talk about
Yes.
the discrimination. What is a learnership?
It's when you study and work at the same time, I think.
You think or you know?
I'm like 98% sure.
That is
Yeah.
Mr. Peter, sir. No, I like
Yes,
that, sir.
I
I like
know.
that. You like the words, I guess. I'm starting to
Yeah.
pick up on that. This is the miles that we know. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
so being paid and studying at the same time, that's a learnership, sir. Okay.
okay.
So when it comes to discrimination, you can discriminate against people based on their age when offering learnerships, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then you can also have we spoke about the teachers' pets and favoring them, né? And giving them all the opportunities instead
Yeah.
of the people giving everyone a fair opportunity. So that we talked about the unfairness there, going to certain employees having preference. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So, sir, then compliance is your SETA. I told you the sector, Education and Training Authority. Are we good, sir?
And I forgot to write that down actually.
Sector, Education and Training Authority. Very important, sir. Just make a note quickly. And then we spoke about WSP, which stands for
Workplace skills plan.
good stuff, sir. And then also with that, we said that it's important to register with SARS. Ne? We talked about the tax man.
Yes.
Okay, so there's a couple of compliance things that we know. Okay, then functions of SATA, we spoke about the accreditation, certificates and money. So you must make sure that your facilitators they get some sort of certificate or some sort of money to show to show appreciation for their services.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. And then we must also register and have workplace skills plans available. And I think there was something about annual reports. If I can recall, I didn't write it down, but I remember that it's something about annual reports on skills development or something like that. Okay. Then we had the National Skills Development Strategy, NSDS, and we had the HRDS, which is the Human Resource Development Strategy. Okay, the one is about maintaining the skills in the country. The other one is about upskilling.
Okay.
Are we good, sir?
Yes.
Okay. So, I want you to run through those now, and then just want to check something quickly, sir. Yeah, just give me 1 minute. 1 minute. Um, so I just want to share this thing quickly with you. Okay. So. Okay. Can you see my screen, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, it's got a Microsoft thing. No ways am I going to pay for Microsoft, man. Okay, so these are the types of questions that you're going to get. I just want to show you. We're not going to do it now. I just want to show you. Is it fine?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a question. The skills development prescribes different ways of vocational that are promoting learnership skills. SETAs aim at implementing NSDS and HRDS. So that's the stuff that we just referred to, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I want you to see how relevant the studying that we're doing is to the questions that we are being asked. Okay, the following aspects should be included in your explain the purposes.
Sorry, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, the NSDS table and the HRDS table is still on the screen. I don't see the questions.
Oh. Okay, I see what you're going. Okay, sir. Sorry, sir. Like so?
So it's just yeah. Now I can see them. Now I can see the questions.
Okay. Sorry about that, Miles.
No problem. No problem.
Chilled. Okay, so what I was reading now, I was reading that story there. Different ways of vocational learning by promoting learnerships. And SATAs, that's what we spoke about there. SATAs aim at implementing the National Skills Development, which is NSDS, and HRDS, which is what we spoke about. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
So,
I do.
so here's the question, sir. Explain the purposes of SDA. So there's the question is explain the purposes. And what was the first thing I taught you?
Are you asking me what the purpose is of this SDA?
No, I'm just asking you whether I taught you the purpose.
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah, that was the first thing you told me.
Okay. And then remember what I taught you the second?
Yeah.
The impact. So all the stuff that I taught you, sir, is relevant to the question. The last one is comply. See there?
Okay.
Comply. And what we said was you need to register with a taxman. You need to have workplace skills plans. You need to have a skills development facilitator. You need to register for pay as you earn. Like all that stuff, that's compliance. And we studied it just now. Okay, so you need to answer your questions now. You need to practice that. So that's the next time I see you, we'll talk more about that. Okay, but just know that what we're studying is relevant to the questions. Okay, and yeah, this is from 2015 June. Okay, this is from November 2015. Question 2: suggest ways in which businesses can comply with the requirements of Skills Development Act. So again, they're asking for the compliance. Okay. Yeah, in 2016, they were asking for the difference between national skills development and HR. So what you're going to say there is the one is trying to maintain the skills, and the other one is trying to improve the skills by alleviating poverty, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So it's very familiar. All you need to do is practice and recalling the information. We're going to go through a couple of these questions. So, yes, sir. That's it from my side for today for skills development. Are you good? How do you feel about skills development act in the business?
Yeah, it's a very new topic to me, but I think if I study it more and memorize, then I'll be fine.
Okay, but your general understanding, are you with, sir? Like, are you improving the
Yeah.
productivity and you trying to get people to work together to upskill and to participate in the workplace programs and stuff like that? So was that fine?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, that was fun.
Okay, sir. So when am I going to see you again? That's the question now.
Monday. No, sorry. Monday's a public holiday, right?
Yeah,
Okay, then yeah, Tuesday is fine with me.
Tuesday. Okay, no, fine, sir. So what I would like you to do
Yeah.
is just go through the work that I've gone through with you now. Okay, and then
Okay.
what I'll do is I'll send the notes to you, so that
Okay.
you can also have a formal copy of the one that I was showing you on your phone. And
Yeah.
then you can actually go through it, like you said, just run through it a bit more. And
Okay.
then, yeah, we're making progress, sir. Very small
Yeah.
steps, but you will see the big picture. You will enjoy answering the questions, I think. And I think you will enjoy experiencing success in this subject. Yeah.
Yeah. But just to let you know, next week Thursday I'm flying to Cape Town. To do something with Professor Jacobs. I think assessment or something like that. So
Okay, sir.
Thursday might be a little tricky depending on when I go.
No, fine, sir. If you're busy with other stuff, it's fine. We can just reschedule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Sure, buddy.
Okay,
Thanks, Miles, for being game, and
All right,
thanks
cool.
for the time, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for teaching me. I really appreciate it.
No, fine, sir. It's always a pleasure. Like I said, I write with you.
Yeah.
Short boss. Respect. Enjoy your family.
All right. Okay. Yeah, enjoy your long weekend.
Will
See you.
do. Will do. See you, sir.
All right, cool. Bye.
Bye.